Welcome to Modern Day Abigails. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." So let's listen to God's Word, where everyday lives transform and where we can become the women God created us to be. Welcome to another episode of Modern Day Abigails. I'm Anna.
I'm Joanna.
And we're back at it. And it's been a little while. Woo!
As usual, that is our normal intro.
Yes, that is our normal intro. It's been a while.
We got busy lives, gals. Busy lives.
It's okay. Y'all do too. So
yeah,
we're all working in this together, and we're just going to continue where we left off because we've been talking about Rebecca, who, we watched them start as a really about praying. So if we remember right, with Sarah and Abraham, they finally have Isaac. That's the promise God gave them, that they kept trying to help God out and it wasn't going well. And she finally has Isaac, and now Sarah has passed away, and made to make sure that they kept the family line going like they're supposed to, because that was the covenant promise. And so Abraham's servant did some weird stuff to say he'd make a promise. I was explaining that to a lady the other day, what it meant to put a hand under the thigh. And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, those are some of the things you really can't talk about, always in mixed company."
Certainly not in children's church.
No, there's a few things that, it's not that we're lying. There's a few adult information they don't need yet. So he sends his servant out to go find a wife for his son Isaac, and he starts praying and asking the Lord for this favor, because Isaac has to stay in the promised land. He has to bring the woman to him. He's praying and praying. And even before, though, he could finish his prayer, out comes Rebecca doing exactly what he had prayed about. So it was amazing. And so that's where we pick up. Isaac gets his wife. He finds her beautiful. She comforts him, and she's barren. So more praying comes along. She'd been barren for 20 years. I imagine they were praying for the whole 20 years. They refused to make the same mistake Sarah and Abraham made. And that way they waited and they prayed. And it finally says that Isaac prayed and his wife became pregnant with twins. But she knew something was wrong. She said, there is too much going on in the inside. If everything's well, why do I can't imagine the battle that was going on inside of her. And so she asked, inquired the Lord. She prayed and asked, and the Lord said, there's two nations fighting in you. The younger would serve the older. So she knew that this promise was coming up. And then we had this little middle story, a couple of middle stories we watch. Esau sell his birthright to his brother. He says he deceived him or he tricked him. No, he made you an offer. He appreciated the birthright. You didn't. He made you an offer. If you're really starving to death, give up your birthright and I'll give you a bowl of stew. That showed that Esau really didn't care about his birthright, but Jacob did, which is showing what God's plan was for, that Rebecca was seeing. And so that means they're going to have to be, the blessing has to go to the younger, not to the older. And I'm saying this because we're going to get there. And then we had that little in-between thing where they had to go because of a famine. They went somewhere else. And, Isaac is like, "Oh yeah, this is my sister, not Rebecca," and blah, blah, blah. We don't really see much of her reaction. Might have been interesting. But anyway, that's where we kind of left off.
Well, he already warned her and said, "I'm going to say this." So
yeah, but did she disagree? Did she said, "Are you nuts? It didn't work out really good for your parents." Didn't they try that? I don't know if she would have known that or not.
I don't know.
Somebody knew about it because it's written.
Right.
I'm just saying, somebody knew about it. Anyway, so that's where we kind of left off. And so I kind of didn't know how to intro this, but I finally thought about a question today. You ready?
Oh my God, the questions. Why do I never remember about these questions?
I know, that's a good question. Especially on sometimes I write down the question and
I know.
you still don't know.
I know. I don't realize it's for me. I'm thinking you're asking the ladies, but nope.
They can't answer back.
True. That doesn't mean you can't ask them a question.
You know what? Never mind. I take it back. I answer back all the time when I'm listening.
So, all right. Lay it on me. I'm ready.
Right.
I don't think I'm ready, but I'm ready.
Well, I'm thinking of today, I was thinking about, there's several types of deception. We could call one the good type. You don't want somebody to know there's a surprise party. So you might, have you ever had something like that? Have you ever done something where you kind of were deceiving because you wanted to surprise somebody?
Sure. Surprise party. Surprise. I deceived you.
Okay,
on your,
that's true.
Your
that's true.
40th.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
On your 40th, we
40 something.
We deceived Ray on his 50th.
Yeah, but he kind of was suspicious.
That's because he was watching the video. Ray,
I know. Who's our producer, and we love you, and we appreciate you producing this. So we're not really mad.
Yeah.
We're just. I was thinking about unplugging the. I was thinking about
you
unplugging
were
the
supposed
cameras.
to put socks on it, but
well,
you didn't.
but I knew, because I knew that if I did, he would be suspicious right then and there. So I was really hoping he was going to be so distracted he wouldn't think to look on the camera.
No.
But that didn't happen.
No.
And then, on mine, I couldn't understand why he was buying a house key. I'm like, oh, that's a cute house key. Oh, we just need to play one. I got to hide it somewhere. I'm like, okay. No, he was giving it to you.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He gave you a house key. The key that he bought in front of me, he gave to you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I did.
Because y'all went to my house.
Yes,
and
we did.
Got it ready.
Forgot all about that.
Now, what about deceiving somebody out of your own selfish gain? Have you ever done that?
I'm sure I have because I'm human. But I would say pre-Christian, absolutely. I couldn't sit here and tell you of a.
Have you ever been deceived?
Absolutely.
How did it go over?
I mean, I was deceived.
Well, I guess so with your ex-husband
I had a
who was
horrible, abusive, narcissistic husband. I was deceived every second of the day.
Yeah, that's true. About to say you went through that for 20 years.
I sure did. So let's get more specific other than that. So what's the question again? Have I been deceived?
Or have you deceived somebody else?
Have I deceived somebody else? I'll have to think about that. I would say no since Jesus, but absolutely probably before Jesus. I couldn't.
I think we see it all the time in the news anyway.
I've been a Christian for a long, long time, so I'm going to have to think of
That's okay.
an old example. That would have been 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, I was thinking that even in the news, I mean, if we really watch the news, how much deception is the news? They don't give you the whole story. They don't tell you everything. Or, I mean, what was the one? Was it the BBC that took different speeches and put it together into one and made it seem like it was something that it wasn't?
Oh, I hadn't heard about that.
I think it was them. I can't remember. I don't want to say it was definitely them, but I believe it was. They took different parts of Trump's speeches, and I don't care whether you like Trump or not. This is not a political thing. This is deception thing. I don't care who it was. And they actually took different pieces of his different speeches, put it all into one to make it seem like he created January 6th, that insurrection day or whatever they want to call it. Actually, I'm going to call it Deception Day because that's what they used it. They tried to use it to deceive people. In my opinion. Now, somebody else might be listening like, oh, I don't believe that. That's fine. Hey, you got your opinion. I got mine. Don't worry about it. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about deception.
A little thing called Google. You could confirm for yourself.
Yeah. It was a big, because it was a lawsuit. So yeah, you can go read the lawsuit. But there was a lawsuit about that because there was a lot of, and we read that one novels. I'm gone back to reading the novels and it does go into
Cool Spy.
Yeah. And it talks about deception all the time. That's all what it is. It's deception to get what you need or to foil somebody else's, evil plot, or whatever.
I can't.
It's okay.
I haven't deceived. I can't
Joanna,
think of a single.
Do I look like I could deceive anybody?
No.
I can't even
I don't know. Look, listen, people's looks, you can't go by that. The innocent looking people like you, Anna, sometimes they turn out to be the worst ones. So tell me.
I admitted to doing something that I didn't do just in case I thought about doing it.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not a deceptive, but I'm an open book. We are open book.
Yeah, I don't play poker for a reason.
Yeah,
my face tells you everything.
My whole life is an open book because we counsel women.
Exactly. On Wednesdays when Lucas is there, we'll play games and both of us look at each other. We're like, there's no way we'd ever. I'd explain poker face first. And then once I play, he goes, oh yeah, I can't do it. I'm like, that's okay. I can't either.
Yeah.
We're just like, whatever. So anyway, so that's where we're going to leave off. Well, where we left off, we're going to go to Genesis 26, starting at 34. When Esau was 40 years old, they took wives late back then. He took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beeri, the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elion, the Hittite, and they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. So the rest of Genesis 26 is about God blessing them and prospering Isaac and his family. But, and remember, God had made a promise to Abraham and Isaac about the promised land and becoming a great nation. This prospering is for the advancement of God's promise to make them a nation. But here Esau, again, Esau does not respect the covenant. He doesn't respect the family line. He didn't respect his birthright, and he's marrying women that he's not supposed to marry. So this is another evidence. And the reason I'm really pointing this out is Rebecca, the mom, is seeing all this. She's seeing her oldest son not even respect any of it. So of course she's thinking, I know God's promise. She's expecting his promise, but does she go on faith or does she try to intervene? Ladies, let's admit, how many of us intervene because we want to help work things out?
I mean, most parents, all parents intervene. Now, there are some times that they might not, but it's human nature, especially if you're a mom or a grandma.
And sometimes we need to intervene.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to intervene.
Well, you and I intervene in each other's lives.
Yes, all the time. But let's think about this. We, without going into details, we believe that the Lord told us something.
Yes.
But we can't intervene.
As much as we want.
As much as we want to intervene.
I certainly want to.
But we can't. We know that the Lord has said, this is what's going to happen. Y'all got to wait. You got to pray and wait. And we badly want to intervene. I'm saying this because I really feel for Rebecca. As a mom, I feel for her. And I would want to do what she's doing. This son, we've already established that Rebecca and Isaac have both played favorites. Jacob's her favorite. Yep. Esau's his favorite. Now, is Jacob her favorite because he's more like her? Maybe. Or is it because she knows what God's promise is? Maybe. But it seems like Esau is his dad's favorite. So you're going to see this tug of war instead of seeing them say, you know what? This is what the Lord said. We got to back up. The Lord said this. We're going to watch it happen. But also, I think the mom would not, the mama would make sure that nothing happened to either one of her kids. She loves them both.
Yes.
It's just that they're playing favorites, and we know that favoritism is not a good thing. So then
it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well.
No. So as we continue, then they discuss a well, and there's a quarrel. So they dug another well. So no fighting. But in verse 22, it says, Genesis 26:22, it says, and he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, for now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. That was God's reminding Isaac of his promise. And I have to remind you, ladies, of this promise in this covenant, because otherwise this fight between Jacob and Esau makes no sense. It just doesn't make sense if you're like, what is all this fighting about? You have to understand that God made a covenant promise. God does not back out of his promises. When he makes a promise, he keeps it moving forward. You can't stop his plans.
No, and not only that, Esau was really arrogant. He was the older, even just by seconds, it makes no difference. He was the older, so he already felt entitled.
Yes.
And he lived his life according to
his entitlement.
His self-created entitlement, by the way. Because, because that was the custom back then.
It was the firstborn custom, but God had told them that the younger was going to serve the older one.
But he might not have known that.
And I did wonder that. Did Jacob and Esau, I guess Jacob, or not Jacob, Isaac or Rebecca probably never said a word about it. Or
did Isaac know?
I don't, you know what?
Because
I don't know.
The Lord told Rebecca, did she keep that to herself?
Now, I would hope that she might not have told Isaac. She might have told Isaac. I don't know.
He might have been like, okay.
Yeah, and it could have been like, you're just a woman. Yeah. I don't know about this. Because it might have sounded strange. Although it shouldn't have sounded strange to him. Why shouldn't it have sounded strange?
Because when they were leaving Egypt, they did the blessing on the younger kid.
Well, I was thinking is Ishmael. Ishmael and Isaac. Yeah. Isaac's the younger. Mm-hmm. It all passed to him. So it really shouldn't surprise him that God might say it's going to go to your younger son instead of your older one, because that's what God was showing that, Sarah and Abraham, you decided to help me out and that didn't go so well. Now there's a firstborn, but it's not going to that firstborn. I'm giving it to the secondborn to go against tradition, because that's not what my plan was. So really, Isaac thinking it going to Jacob, his younger, should not have been a total shock to him.
You're right. It shouldn't have been, because that's exactly what happened to him.
He was playing favorites and wasn't paying. Yeah. So what he did is he allowed playing favorites to overlook what God had made a promise, what God had said. And I think we do that often. We have something that we favor, whatever it is. It may not even be a person, but something we favor. And we will try to get it to where God will justify our favor or what we want. Oh, I want that. Let's just be bold. I want that woman's husband over there. Why wouldn't he let me have it? He wants, I'm his favorite. Why wouldn't he want me to have him?
Like John and his mistress, they were soulmates. The Lord,
yeah.
She would tell people, John is my soulmate. I know that he's married, but he's my soulmate.
Exactly.
The Lord, and she was supposed to be a Christian.
Yeah. And they'll try to justify it with the Lord.
Yeah, the Lord set him. His marriage is a mess. Which
he created.
Which he created. Because because his wife is horrible, and the Lord's trying to get him out of it, and he's my soulmate.
Right.
And her friend said, he's married.
Exactly.
You need to back off.
They'll try to use the Lord.
She did not.
Nope. And they will try to use the Lord to get them on their side because they're thinking they're favored. And the Lord's going, nope.
Well, I can guarantee you, I know him. They are not favored.
Yeah, right, exactly. That lifestyle is not favored.
That continued on, guaranteed.
And so that's so probably somehow Isaac rationalized that, well, this is my favorite, so something's going to have to work out. Nope.
The Lord would not give my favorite
exactly
the ruling. Or
exactly.
the blessing.
Rebecca's over there going, I know what the Lord said, and we're going to make sure this happens. And that might be why she makes some poor decisions, is because she's seeing it going in the wrong direction and she wants to intervene. And this is part of what we're going to learn about. We can't intervene. We can't step in front of the Lord. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get ran over.
I know. And you remind me all the time, we know what the Lord said. We know what the Lord said.
Yeah, because the Lord goes, you remember what I said?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's hard to remember what you said because,
I know.
Exactly. So, but then I'll go, okay. Because half the time, I'm like, are you sure I heard you? Maybe I'm a little on the nutty side, No,
because he told me at a different time and I didn't even know he told you.
Exactly. So now
Vice versa.
So that's why we have to watch for this. So then we're going so God's making his promise. So he has to keep this covenant line the way he said he would. And he said he's going to go through Isaac. He's already promised that. So in Genesis 26:24, it says, and the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake. So think about it. They went from one child who's supposed to carry on the line to now they have two grandchildren. So now they got two boys who are supposed to carry on the line, except that line is going only through one boy. So if you think about it, is one child, that's going to be a slow growth if you keep having just one child. It ain't going to work out too well. But so God has plans. So he has to take this child and say, okay, from you, I'm going to make it go boom. And if you finish up Genesis and go through it, which we will be going through it because we're going to be talking about Rachel, Leah, and their nurses. Because what we get to talk about is how this family seemed to forget how to pray. And we're going to make all sorts of bad decisions. But God, in his promise...
Isn't that like all of us?
Yes, exactly. And God in his promise isn't going to let you forget. So when we're saved, we are truly saved. And we might make some really bad decisions. But the Lord says, no, I made you a promise and I'm going to keep my promise because I know you can't.
And I know everybody's curious, especially Pastor Ray, who's like, what journey? Okay, it's my journey. It's a secret journey. I've only told Anna. She's helping me through it. She prays with me. She's my prayer partner over it. And that's all I'm going to say. But she does remind me all the time. I feel like you have not been praying about this because...
Let me guess. You haven't been praying about it because guess what I was praying about this morning?
You're not praying about it.
Yeah. And guess what my first thought was? She's not praying. I did.
And my answer always is, I am not because I'm irritated.
I was thinking that this morning. It came to my mind and I'm like, dang it, she's not been praying again.
No.
And I look at the Lord and goes, yeah, I know. That's why you're here.
Thank you, bestie.
You're welcome, bestie.
I'm thankful for you.
Hey.
It's a difficult journey, lady. And
you help me.
At some point when it's over,
we'll go
have a chat about it. But right now,
we'll have a special podcast on that.
Super, super private.
Yes. Y'all can go ahead and pray about it. You don't know what it is. You can say, Lord, I don't know what they're praying about, but I want to join in on this bandwagon.
Listen, we will take all of the prayer warriors we can get.
Because we're going to have a special podcast one day. We're going to call it that. Joanna's special podcast.
One day.
Yes. But in the meantime, we're going to learn about attitude.
And commitment to prayer.
And how, and really, honestly, I
trust in the Lord.
Exactly. Especially when when his plans are not something you ever thought about.
No.
And we've talked about that 100 times. I never thought about working the corporate life and going anywhere in the corporate life. And I'm like,
here you are, you just moved up with the promotion and you're like, oh.
I guess somebody's going to tell me about it. Anyway, that's fine.
They did, Anna. They changed your title. That's all you're getting.
Well, but they didn't tell me they changed my title. That's the funny part.
But they did, and there you go.
I'm waiting for them to officially tell me. Never mind the email from somebody else. Yeah,
and the team's title.
Yeah, never mind all that. But that's okay. But I never imagined it. I never wanted it. I'm like, my trail, my calling is Ray's calling. So I'm like, okay, just because it's not the way you imagined doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just not the way you imagined it. And so, ladies, I think that's a really clear thing here. I'm sure Rebecca did not imagine finally getting pregnant with twin boys. I guarantee you she never imagined that there would be a huge war between them two. I mean, yeah, some kids
that started at conception.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my brother and I used to fight, but at least we waited until we were out of the womb and a couple of years old.
Your mom thanks you.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, the joke is I shoved him out. That's why we were born early. He was in my way.
Impatient?
Yeah, I was impatient and shoved him out. He was not ready. I was. And so we joke about that. And then she said when we were a little bit older and we were crawling around, we used to steal each other's pacifiers. Well, if you couldn't find it, just grab the other one.
You're done with that. I'll take that now.
I'll take that. She said, man, we had pacifiers all over the place because y'all would lose it and start stealing each other's. And then there would be this huge crying war. I feel bad for my parents. Anyway, but once we got older and we started having separate lives, we started getting along and we started really liking each other. Now we adore each other and we like hang out. But that's not happening here with Rebecca and Isaac. I mean, it's 40 years of this.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Yeah. And we're going to see how much grief they caused. It's like, no wonder she didn't have any more kids after them. Lord's like, I got mercy on you.
Your mom didn't have any more kids after you either. Well, your parents.
I know.
He had a hand in it.
Yeah. They taught her tubes. I used to unpray that. My mom looked at me one day. She goes, "Don't you dare!
I'll kill you dead right here.
Don't you dare pray for that. Come on." Anyway, that's okay. The Lord put a lot of great women in my life, so I have sisters that way.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I have no idea where I'm at. Oh, God's okay. So the people in the land see that the Lord is with them and they want to make a covenant with them. I'm going quickly to get to a point. Please read all of 26. If you catch Set for Life Radio, Pastor Ray has all of Genesis. In fact, I've been trying to catch up with all the podcasts because he had also put one in between from the Wednesday study. So I had to start all over again in Genesis. So I'm like behind and I'm like, actually, this is the part in Genesis I'm at listening to his podcast. So I do recommend highly. He's going to talk about a lot of things. We're geared towards women, talking about how women respond, where he's talking about the whole picture and God's covenant promises. So I do encourage you to do all that. But for right now, the highlights, why? Because the last two verses seem to be out of place, but it's a setup for the next event in Rebecca's life. So in Genesis 26, 34 through 35, when Esau was 40 years old, he took the wives. Didn't I already read that?
No.
Yeah, I remember struggling. I think I read it, but then, I did read it, but we're going back to it. So that's where Esau was 40 years old. He took his wives.
That's the very first thing you ever read when you started the podcast. That's why.
I guess I'm going back so I can remind y'all what we're talking about.
Okay.
I hope, because otherwise I just really duplicated a lot and I apologize.
No, so, go for it.
When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beeri, the Hittite, and Bathmith, the daughter of Elion, the Hittite, and they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. So the promise made to God and Isaac was to flow to one of their sons. And it should have been the firstborn, but we remember back in Genesis 25:23, God told Rebekah it would be the younger son. And just as a reminder, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 peoples shall be separated from your body. That sounds painful. Your one people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. We're seeing it played out that Esau is marrying women of Canaan that God said not to do, so Esau is not being obedient. Hebrews 12:16 says, lest there be any fornicators or profane person like Esau, who for one morsel of food sold his birthright.
Can you imagine what a slap in the face that was to the Lord?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that.
I mean,
yes,
for real. This one, see, birthright back then was the thing.
Yes,
it was so important. It determined everything in the family.
Right. Let's put it on a little bit, maybe modern. A way for
make
somebody,
it modern.
Sort of. Let's say you made a really great dinner for your child. It was their favorite. Maybe it was a grilled cheese sandwich with homemade tomato soup made from scratch. French fries made from scratch. You cut up that potato, you cut it all up, and you fried it, and you made it perfect. And you hand it to your child, and your child looks at it and goes, "I don't want that," and knocks it on the floor. That's the same thing that basically Esau did to God.
He's like,
threw it on the floor, whatever, and walked off.
Again, entitlement.
Yes.
He's like, I've already got it, so what do I care if I tell him
we
he
do
can
have a
it?
generation, and we have people who think they're entitled. And I guarantee you, if you think you're entitled, God will remind you you're not.
For real.
And that's why it's better to stay humbled. I tell this to people all the time. I would rather do a army belly crawl on the right path of righteousness than to get one toe stepping off that path. Because what's going to happen is if I take a toe off that path, I'm going to get knocked down to my knees.
Or your face.
Or my face plant.
Laying flat, praying. Listen, I have prayed flat on my belly, on my face to the Lord many a times.
Because I don't want to be humbled.
Yeah.
It's painful.
It is.
I think some of us have already been humbled. There was 3 things I said I'd never do. I did it all by the age of 21. You want to talk about humbling?
Good job.
I know. Thank you. I'm an overachiever. In fact, you're probably thinking, what was those 3 things? I said I would never have sex before marriage. So therefore, I would never have a baby before marriage or in high school, and I'd never be divorced.
Check it.
Before the age of 21. Okay. So I am not an overachiever. I was very humbled and I have not wanted to get that way ever since.
Right.
So at least I can say, but I learned everything by the time I was 21. I learned a lot by the time I was 21 to where I knew I don't want to be proud. Keep me down, Lord. Keep me down.
For real. You're not the only one. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So it's like, So, ladies, so don't think you're entitled. And when you get too proud, the Lord will knock you down on your face, and it hurts a lot. But he also helps you back up and clean you off and say, you want to try this again? Sure. Let's do it the right way this time. And I did. I did it right. I'm not saying perfect. I'm just saying
you did
I did
it
a better
right.
job.
You did.
I did a better job. Thank you.
Good job.
That's because of the Lord. So Genesis 27, starting at verse 1. Now it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim. I'm going to stop there. You're really not old until God calls you old. There's only a few times in the Bible that you see, like it was Joshua. I remember it said, God said, Joshua, you're now old. I'm like, dang, you're not old until God tells you you're old.
Oh my goodness.
So this is funny when it says, when Isaac was old, I'm like, oh, you're old now. That he could not see, that he called Esau, his older son, and said to him, my son. And he answered him, here I am. Then he said, behold now, I'm old. I do not know the day of my death. Now, therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may be blessed, you before I die. Okay, so we are safe to say that Isaac's love for his favorite son is overlooking the fact that he's disobedient. And I think I see parents do that. They will overlook their child's indiscretions. They'll overlook their child's bad behavior because they love them and they're their favorite. In fact, I remember a mom telling me the reason they didn't have any more children is that their daughter said she didn't want any siblings. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that's why they didn't have any more, because their child didn't want a sibling, so they're not having any more. Now, I'm not talking about, Jack and Gina joked about that, so I'm not talking about them. This was a long time ago. But they couldn't have children. That's why they adopted. So I'm not talking about them, just in case somebody thought, because Jack and Gina used to joke around like, because Jennifer didn't want any siblings. That's not why they didn't have any more.
Yeah.
They just decided that God had told them one, and they're good for that.
Yeah.
But this other couple, literally, she told me, she goes, the only reason we didn't have any more is because our daughter didn't want any siblings.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering, since that daughter grew up, does she have several children? Guarantee she does.
Probably. You know what? Just from what I remember from that little girl, God bless her husband if she got married.
Oh.
And I hope she got saved.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah, I think she would have.
Her parents taught her how to stay selfish.
Yeah, and she was very beautiful and she knew it.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Never met that girl, but y'all mentioned her before.
Yeah, she was in Stevie's first grade class, I think. Anyway, not saying anything, but what I'm trying to say is this is what happens when you have a favorite. When you have a favorite, suddenly you're overlooking things. And I'm not talking about, there's plenty of passages that talk about love. Proverbs talks about how love will look over certain things. Those are the little things that is not, the little things like you want the cabinet shut and the person doesn't, shut the cabinet. Okay, let's look over that. Or little minor things like somebody has a bad attitude one day, like you and I, one of these, sometimes we know the other person's upset. Mm-hmm. But we overlook it because I know I probably have said some things that I shouldn't have said it the way I did, but I was in a bad mood and I just said what I was thinking off the top of my head.
Hey, you said what you said.
Yeah. But you didn't hold it against me. You're like, she's in a bad mood. I'm going to let this go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. This is complete disobedience, full disobedience. And it's not I'm having a bad day disobedience. This is, I just don't want to listen. Disobedience. So he's overlooking that fact. He sold his birthright, but still expects a blessing. Thank you for letting us share our tools to become the women God created us to be. If we encouraged you today, visit us at moderndayabigails.com. Remember, you are loved, cherished, and prayed over.